Welcome to a fun-filled episode of In the Toy Box, where the toys are the stars of our show. In this episode, we will feature more monster toys, from Jaws to Jason Voorhees, and many more, so join us.
Hello and welcome to another great and ghoulish episode of In the Toy Box. Today we're talking about more monster toys. I'm Kevin, here with Matthew. And what do we have in front of us, Matt?
Well, today we have the Funko Jaws toys that came out in 2015.
Awesome.
Jaws being one of my favorite movies. Came out with some toys, some action figures. We have the three major ones, of course. We have Quint, Brody, and Hooper. And they also released the Great White Shark in addition to that.
Awesome. 3.5 inches, correct?
Yes, correct. No boat was issued, unfortunately, but that's okay.
Shark's cool enough.
They're cool. Yeah. And they also had an exclusive that was one of the Comic-Cons. Was it San Diego Comic-Con?
Yeah, yep.
Released a different version of the shark. Actually, Quint was inside the shark's mouth. It was kind of gruesome.
Yes, very.
But yeah, if you went to that Comic-Con, you could purchase that.
Excellent.
So, but yeah.
Yeah.
So later this year, they're supposed to be coming out. NECA, a company that makes a lot of this stuff, is supposed to be coming out with some Jaws figures, and I'm looking forward to that.
Awesome.
So speaking of NECA, what do we have here for monster toys here?
Just like the toys you were just talking about, those are going to be part of their 8-inch line, which is right in front of me. They're going to be in this clamshell box. And these two right here are of Pamela Voorhees from the Friday the 13th line that they're doing. The one right here is with Jason and Pamela. And then we have this one from part 2 where she appears at the very end and jumps out of the lake. Yeah. She's deceased then. And then we have the window box, which is the one that has a flap that opens up. And inside there you have Jason from part 2 on through part 6, I believe. And also they have Jason from Freddy vs. Jason as well. And in there, they're very articulate figures. They're all 8 inches. They sometimes come with different head sculpts, and they're just awesome figures. They really are. And what else we have on the table is some large, I think they're 14-inch or 17-inch.
Oh, these big guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, they look like about 17, 18 inches, yeah.
Okay, 17-inch from Fun for All Studios. That was part of Spencer's Gifts line. And they just did a bunch of talking horror movie dolls.
Right.
Or toys. We don't call them dolls, do we?
So these came out in, what, the 90s?
Yes, these are 90s. Matchbox actually did almost exactly how the Freddy looks over there, a Freddy Krueger doll, and that one had about 5 sayings. It was pull string.
I like his sweater.
Yeah, amazing sweater and amazing hat, too. Yeah. And these ones don't have that pull string. They have a voice box that you push inside, and they all say different things. Like we have this ghost face. Let's see if we can get him to talk. He said in the toy box, but it's a little dull.
It was muffled, but
he needs new batteries. And we also have, this Beetlejuice over here. Beetlejuice is actually from Kenner, and that one came out in 1989, I want to say. And his head spins.
Whoa.
Yep, let's get some head spinning action. And he still has his original pull string as well, so we'll try that too. I don't know what he said there. Let's try it again. Can I be scary or what? He can be scary.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So yeah, that's what we have for you right now.
Yeah, there's some cool toys you got here.
Excellent. Scary stuff.
There are all types of monster toys. There's Dracula, the Wolfman, and Frankenstein for starters. What about this Frankenstein? Herman Munster is a character from a 60s comedy TV series that appears as a monster, but he has a job, a home, and he is loved by his family. The same applies to this assortment of toys based on the creature from the Black Lagoon. Some are action figures depicting the likeness of the monster as it appears in the various creature films, while others are plush, cute, lovable toys. Then, in the form of a board game, there's Jaws. The gameplay involves two parts. Act 1, Amity Island, tracking the shark and saving swimmers, and Act 2, the orca, battling the shark. Then we have a wooden version of the orca. The orca and its three-man crew, consisting of Quint, Hooper, and Chief Brody, are also considered monster toys for being the heroes in the famous movie Jaws. If you've seen this film, you are no doubt familiar with the ship named the Orca, which appears throughout the movie Jaws. Originally produced by Mego, we have these mad clowns from Figures Toy Company. Their scary appearance suggests that these characters are to be considered monster toys. Just look at them. Gruesome. There's also a Salem witch figure. Heroes of monster toys include Sideshow's 12-inch Van Helsing and Anna Valerius. They are completely awesome, and they are seen here with accessories from the Van Helsing movie. So when you think of monster toys, they may not all look like this guy, who transforms into the Grim Reaper.
As a child, I always thought of masks and costumes as crude plastic cutouts of famous faces and fun characters, paired up with a vinyl apron or covering that resembled a certain individual's attire and usually sported a few portraits of the person in question, so there was no confusion as to whom you were pretending to be. I was later introduced to the rubber mask. Around since the late 40s, rubber masks were a massive leap ahead of plastic. These seemingly realistic renditions of monsters, creatures, cartoons, and even celebrities were often available at local drugstores and specialty shops around the Halloween season. Year after year, I would anticipate the arrival of the unmistakable scent of rubber masks flooding into seasonal stores. I've even paired rubber masks resembling the likes of Jason Voorhees with different high-density plastic hockey mask coverings for a more realistic look. Masks and costumes aren't always reserved for the Halloween holiday and have gone hand in hand in playtime for children and adults. Dressing up and role-playing can add fun to a seemingly ordinary day, transforming yourself from a normal person to any number of alter egos ready for outrageous adventure. Dressing up over and over, mixing and matching, can add unlimited levels of amusement at any age. Seeing a person wearing a mask or costume brings a certain amount of joy to me. It brings back great memories of tricks and treats, a nostalgic smell of realistic rubberized characters. Creations that are meant to be worn or displayed proudly at any age and at any time. I will continue to love masks and costumes regardless of their characteristics, because they are a constant reminder to me that with a little effort, we can change from who we are to whom we want to be. So in front of us, to the far right, we have some toys from Sideshow Toys. And what we have is Ash and Evil Ash from Army of Darkness, and they're 12 inches tall. They have a ton of accessories, real cloth clothing, and the detail in them is amazing. We also have Jason from Friday the 13th Part 3. Same idea. This is from 2003. I don't know if I mentioned the Army of Darkness is from 2002, but it's Sideshow Toys, the Jason.
Both of them Sideshow.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he's also 12 inches. Actually, he's to scale, so he's probably a little bigger than that. He's more like 12 and a half. And he also has his mask. He's unmasked in there, so it's pretty cool looking. They're all fully cloth figures, really sweet. And what do we have over here to the right?
Okay, kind of like indirectly in front of me, we have the Enemy Visitor from V. If anyone remembers the miniseries V that was back in 1984, this is the action figure that you could get to go along with it.
Awesome.
Pretty much the miniseries was about this alien invasion, and how they fooled everyone was they put on like human faces. You know, it's like, ooh, ooh. So, and then we have to the right of me, next to that, we have the Grim Reaper figure, which was made in 2010 by a company called Day to Day Toys. It's pretty cool. It's a skeleton underneath, and he comes with different implements that you can adjust the size of his, weapons and stuff like that.
The scythe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's a pretty cool character.
Absolutely.
That's pretty much what we got. What do we got? Some models over here?
Yes, of course. Okay, so we have two different types of models here. And what you have is some polar lights, which are these three, and we have a figure right in front of us. They're what they call like a stage 3, so you have to glue them together and paint them. And usually you have to kind of paint them in separate pieces and then glue them together.
Okay.
And we have the Dracula's Dragster in front of us. I also brought along the Wolfman's Wagon and the Mummy's Chariot, and they're really cool. They've got their cars are either really small or they are really big, one or the other. As you can see, Dracula barely fits in the coffin race car he's in.
That's funny.
Also, we have from not Polar Lights, I'm sorry, Mobius made these aliens from Mars Attacks. And that's also a stage 3. You have to paint it, glue it all together. And it was a glow-in-the-dark top, but I actually stuffed LED lights in there, and I had a little battery compartment underneath, and you can turn it on and off.
Oh, it looks really cool.
Yeah, that was a fun one to do. And then we also have these stage 2 ones in front of us. Now, they don't require any glue. They just kind of snap, almost like a snap tight. They snap together. You're supposed to paint them. I chose to spray paint these. And two of them from Atlantis, I believe, is the company.
Yep.
They have LED lights in them as well. You take the UFO apart, you twist a little thing, and it lights up on the inside. So those are really neat. And yeah.
That's cool. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, these monster models with the cars, and those are really cool. I remember we were talking about, we were together last weekend, you were talking about, do I remember, like these cars were made by Matchbox or Hot Wheels that were produced, and they actually had a car, and they actually had a monster that was on it, like the monster was bigger or something?
Yes.
Well, I couldn't find anything Matchbox or Hot Wheels, but I did find this, and I thought I would present it to you.
Okay.
And
wow.
It's a different company.
An on-air unboxing or unveiling. Whoa. It's pretty much similar to what I talked about.
Yep.
So it's monsters on top of vehicles.
They're called Monster 500, and they made 10 different monsters on top of cars.
Awesome. Looks like a Leadfoot, looks like a Bigfoot. We got a zombie, zombie.
This is the first set. You got cars 1, 2, and 3 on the first set. So.
Amazing. I love them.
Yeah, good. I'm glad.
Great.
Look, Ramco Coney Island penny machine. Win a prize. Let's go in. Look at the wonderful prizes you can win. I'm going to win a watch for you. A penny in the slot, and look at the prizes go round and round. Bracelets, whistles, harmonica. This lever moves the bucket from side to side. This lever moves the bucket up and down. Here goes. You've almost got the watch. You've got it. Down the chute and out it comes. You just made it. The timer says finish. It comes complete with a giant bag of wonderful toy prizes. Remember, every boy wants a Remco toy. And so do girls.
Welcome to a new segment which we call Custom Toys. Custom toys are toys that are produced usually by people like us,
Right.
or anyone who's interested in making their own toys. In this case, we have figures based on the Jaws movie, and they're custom because only the heads were made in the likeness of the action figures. Everything else you had to put together yourself. You had to put the body together. You had to get the clothing, the right clothing to match the clothing they wore in the movie. The accessories, everything else. So that's what makes it a custom toy. There was painting involved. The heads had to be painted. You had to paint the eyes, the hair, everything. So that's what makes it a custom toy.
So you're buying or getting the head. It's just the mold.
It's the mold of the head.
And you paint them by hand.
Yes.
Or whomever does.
Someone has already pre-made the mold of each of these heads of these figures.
Right.
And then you have to go ahead and paint them.
And then you have to get the other parts to go with it. They're made for a 12-inch figure already,
yes,
so you would know
exactly.
that.
And usually, if you attain the heads, the person who has the heads will tell you like what body they'll fit on.
Oh, gotcha.
So they kind of like indicated like a list of bodies that would work.
Awesome.
So that was helpful.
Yeah.
So then you just go out and see if you can find them. So yeah, we got the Jaws figures here. We have Chief Brody, Quint, and Hooper, and we tried to match them into the clothes that they wore. We gave Hooper the diving uniform. Excellent. So it was probably like the best representation of him. And Quint, we tried to get him like pretty much what he wore, I guess, throughout the whole film. I don't think he ever changed his clothing.
No, of course not. I don't think he owns a second thing. No way, dude.
And Brody, we kind of pretty much put the clothes that he had on the boat.
Yeah.
Because he did have a sheriff's uniform too, but we kind of went with that.
I mean, I saw even the accessories you have here are pretty accurate. I mean, you got a pistol, and then just what they were using in the movie. It's very down to the details are there.
Yeah. And just to be clear, the rubber shark we have here is just a rubber shark, just to enhance the.
Not custom.
No, it's not. It's not custom. We didn't do anything with the shark.
Very cool.
So what else do we have here? Who's this guy?
So in front of me, I have a Jason Voorhees figure from Friday the 13th, and it's done by a gentleman named Mike Skaggs. I found him online through Instagram. It's Skaggs of the Living Dead, and I picked this figure up. What he does is he makes a few parts of the body in cast resin. So you have the head, the hands, the feet, so all the extremities, and then any accessories are cast resin. And he mounts that onto a hand-sewn body that has wire throughout it, and you're able to bend the figure however you like, and it'll stay that way. And he also included, let's take this off, you can see his face. This guy's obviously knows what he's doing. I think that the attention to the detail on the face is really nice. Hand painted, of course, and he included a few accessories, one being this bag, this bag that has a hole in it, and I thought it was for no reason, but then I realized he included the Part 2 hood from Friday the 13th, and it fits over the head, and that matches up with his eye. And now you have Jason from Friday the 13th Part 2.
Gruesome.
Amazing.
It's definitely a good product. I mean, it's just right down to like the shoes and the clothes and the molding of the figure and everything. It's really cool.
Tons of detail. He's got like that very like aggressive, like a weird type of stance. It's very cool looking. It's a little bit cartoony and a little aggressive at the same time.
Yeah, it is cartoony.
Yeah, I love it.
Cartoony, but there's some realism to it.
Yeah.
It's scary.
Yeah, it's emphasized. Yeah. Cool.
Oh, good. So that's what we have for our custom segment today. We will have more custom toys coming up soon.
Awesome.
Gathering some foam boards, some white, some black, and some red, I assembled a funhouse to resemble Dominic Spadola's 1961 Monster Ride from Lincoln Park, previously located at Dartmouth, Massachusetts. The park was open from 1894 to 1987. The version of the toy that I made was a walk-in funhouse and not a ride-on Monster Ride. I designed a pathway and provided many toys and monsters to place in the toy funhouse. There is even a second level, as well as a ticket booth. This is a unique custom toy. In 1997, Kenner released a 12-inch Grand Moff Tarkin action figure for their Star Wars line of toys. The actor who portrayed Tarkin was Peter Cushing, who also starred in the Hammer Dracula films as Dr. Van Helsing. Making a 12-inch custom Van Helsing figure began by acquiring a 12-inch Tarkin figure. His hair was painted brown to make him appear younger, as in the Van Helsing days. Then he was given new clothes to resemble that which he wore in the Hammer Dracula films. Further, accessories were provided: an overcoat, a doctor's bag with stakes, and a cross. Additional crosses were provided as well, and a hat. He is fully posable and ready for play. Custom packaging was also provided. He is truly a unique custom figure.
Thank you for tuning in to Frightmare's feature films. Tonight's maniacal motion picture features the Nightmare Man himself, Freddy Krueger, in A Nightmare on Elm Street. Enjoy!
Hello, Matthew, and welcome to your nightmare. I'm Freddy Krueger, and today we're going to talk about banks. These are some of my personal favorites. To our left, we have two cast iron skeleton banks. Now what you do is you put a coin in either one of their hands, and there's a little lever on the back of them. And when you press it, the simple mechanics inside allow that hand to raise, and either the mouth will open or the eye in one of these cases, and it will feed that coin into said hole. How amazing. Now right over here in the front, we have a bank that's made out of plastic. It's turn knob, so you crank it up, and when you place the coin in a designated area, a skeleton hand reaches out from the grave and grabs that coin. How cool is that? Now my personal favorite from the 80s is this guy. It's called the Little Black Box. It's battery operated, and you take a coin and you put it in the designated slot. It starts to shake, and then a hand reaches out and grabs that coin. It's really neat. I want to thank you for having me in your dreams. Signing off, it's the Springwood Slasher. Sweet dreams, everyone. Sweet dreams, everyone.
Welcome to a current toy review. Today we're reviewing Bend-Ems, a company that's been around for years. What they make is these bendable figures, oddly enough, and
It's like a solid rubber body, right?
yeah, these bodies are put together pretty much with like a wire inside and surrounded by rubber.
Yep.
So they're not super posable, but you can move the arms as like so, bend the knees, make them look like they're running.
Yep.
Pretty much.
They're heavy duty. They can take some blunt force too.
Right.
That's why I really like these things. It's
Yeah.
sweet.
Yeah, they take punishment. You can take these, you can throw them, you can kick them. The version I had of these when I was a kid, because of my love for Mego, I had the Mego version, which was Mego Bendies. And I had about 20 of them. And I would play with them outside. I'd throw them in the water, the swimming pool.
Yep.
I'd bring them to the beach. I'd bury them in the sand.
They sink in the swimming pool, right? Then you got to go dive and get them.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
they don't. They,
That's the
they
part of the
last.
fun. Yeah.
The only I only had one that broke. I had a Spider-Man and his arm fell off, and I think that was because being in the sun for a long time, I think the rubber got dried up.
Okay.
But it's pretty bad. It's
Yeah.
pretty good for having 20 toys
I
and
haven't
only
even
one
seen
of them.
I haven't even seen any of them broken.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's why I saw the little wire inside. It's just like a little tiny wire.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I think they're a great toy. The set we have in front of us, we have the Universal Monsters, and we have Batman, and we have the Battlestar Galactica collection.
Cool.
All of these collectibles have come out in 2019,
Yep.
so they're fairly recent. So I think they're a great toy.
They're sweet. I love the original Universal Monsters right here.
Yeah.
They're really cool.
I think the thing I like about them is their attention to detail, both in or out of the package. They make a great display item. I have the Batman. I have him in the package and him out of the package, and I like them
Likewise.
both.
Yeah.
As a toy, again, they're very dependable. I think they take a lot of punishment. It's a collectible and it's a toy.
Yeah.
So I think that's what it's got going for it.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't know if I can really find anything that, the only thing that I guess is not really good about it is that it's not superposable.
Right.
Other than that,
You don't buy them for the posability, though.
No.
You get them because they're just a solid toy. They do their job. They look like what you want them to look like. And like you said, a kid could play with it, punish it, and they can come right back to it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
So what would you rate them?
I would rate them four toy boxes out of 5.
4 to 5?
And that's only because I know you're not supposed to pose these, but I'd like them
Yeah.
to do a little bit more. I mean,
Sure.
because they're hard to stand. You can get them to stand, but sometimes you got to lean them on something.
I
so.
agree.
But I mean, it's
agree.
a toy.
Yeah.
But
With the newer ones, I will say, so this is like one from the 90s. It's got very short stature. The newer ones, I don't know if you can see, but they have longer legs at least. So you could probably get a little more bend in that leg area
Yes.
and the arm area even.
yeah, as you can see, like the Batman,
Yeah.
you can see he bends like pretty much.
Yeah.
So and the
Also,
arms.
this has a uncanny resemblance to Michael Keaton. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know if
it
it's
does.
supposed to or not, but
It is. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if I had to rate him, I would give him a solid 5. I just, for some reason, love the rubber figure. I give him a solid 5.
Wow.
Yes. Ding, 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 ding. Light him up. If I did have one comment, again, with mostly everything I review, the packaging to me is a little flimsy. It's just straight bubble onto a card. And again, you will see some blistering on certain packages. Other than that, they're excellent. So
Yeah. Bendham's.
Bendham's, love them.